The summer 2020 wave of Ninjago has just been revealed, and oh man does this wave look great. It's got everything. We're talking mechs, we're talking dragons, we're even talking rhinos. It's awesome. But which sets are the best of the best? Hey guys, Hfmasters here, and today we're going to be ranking the Ninjago summer 2020 sets. To be honest, I'm not really quite sure what these sets are. They kind of remind me of the slam sets, but now they're surrounded by these bionicle crystal pieces. So if you look really closely on the side of Cole's Spinjitzu gyroscope, you can actually see how these are supposed to work. So basically, you know, from this picture, you launch them, the crystals splay out to the side, and then they come back in. I still kind of don't really know what's going on here. I gotta really buy these and see them working to understand them. The exclusive minifigures here, though, are all really great. I really like them, and I actually don't mind that they reused the Legacy rebooted leg pieces. I think they look fine here, and I also do like that they give you the normal hood pieces and a straw hat. Overall, I imagine these sets are going to be pretty fun, but I just don't quite know enough about them yet. Next up, we have the Journey to the Skull Dungeon set. Now, while this set may be low on our list, this is still a really solid set, which is a testament to how good the summer wave actually is. The set itself is very similar to the Skull Sorcerer's dungeon, however, it's about a third of the size. The set's main focus is the board game, however, it does have a cage that can be lowered along with the ability to move these stairs. The set also has great detailing with a nice lava stream between the rocks and a nice hidden blue crystal. The biggest issue with this set is probably the lack of villain figures. It only has that one troll figure, which is kind of disappointing, but an upside to it is that the ninja included in these sets only come in the 3 biggest sets, so it makes it much easier to obtain all 3 of these guys without having to pay a whole lot. Overall, it's a good set, but compared to the rest of the wave, it just simply isn't good enough to be at a higher spot. Wu's Battle Dragon is a really good set. For $20 and 321 pieces, this set is a great value. For the price, the detailing on this set is just so good. The wings, they look amazing, the saddle is really well done, and it even has a spot to hold Wu's staff. I also do think the brick-built head looks fine, and compared to the $20 Golden Dragon from Legacy, I think this just looks much better, although I'm not sure it's going to function quite as well. If you look closely, you'll notice that the legs are locked into one position, which means that they basically only have the ability to move forward and back, similar to the Junior's Fire Dragon from the last wave, and personally, I think the overall size and detailing of this set heavily outweighs that loss in articulation, but I do know some people aren't going to like that, and it is going to make the set a little bit disappointing for them. But once again, at $20, can you really ask for much more than what you're getting with this set? The Skull Dungeon is the flagship of these Season 13 sets, and it looks good, but not great. I don't really know what it is about this set, but there's just something about it that's missing for me. Like, the build looks really solid, but not amazing. The functions look really fun, but I feel like there could have been more, and I feel like some of them could have been better. The minifigure selection is good. I got no problems with it, but I don't know, there's something missing in it for me. Although I will say this set, from a play value standpoint, looks amazing. It is absolutely massive, and there are places everywhere to put figures and just kind of mess around. This is not a facade unlike some of the other sets that have come out. This set, there's a million different things you can do with it. And for what it's worth, you can also combine this set with the Journey to the Skull Dungeon set and the side builds from some of the other sets to make a much bigger and much more complete looking dungeon, which I like it a lot more than the base build that you actually get when you buy this set. But all things considered, at $100, it's a good set, but I feel like my money would be better spent on some of the other sets from this wave. The Firestone Mech is a really nice set. When I first saw it, I said that it reminded me of Splitface from Hero Factory, and seeing it now, you know, fully complete in actual HD images, it still kind of reminds me of him, but not quite as much. I do like the whole dynamic that they have going on here. The Fireside is kind of the smooth, elegant, samurai-looking design, while the stone is much more rugged and rough around the edges. It's something that really shouldn't work, but it does. You can also fit both Kai and Cole in the cockpit section, which isn't something you can usually do with mechs and is really nice to have here, but I do gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of the head build. That CCBS armor shell for the kind of samurai shaping, it doesn't work for me, although I do really love that they printed Kai's symbol on it. I think that looks great, but I don't know, I think the head couldn't be better. Also, I do wish we got some better builds for the swords, but that is kind of nitpicking. And also, one more thing, it does come with this super tiny side build with a collectible, which is cool, but it is kind of pretty much unnoticeable. But pulling off the asymmetrical design is something very difficult to do, and I think it's done really well on this mech, so I think the designer deserves a lot of credit for the work done here. Although I do gotta say, I do think the design does kind of hold this mech back at some times. Oh man, this set. Man, when I heard they were making a Rhino for Ninjago, I was very intrigued to see what it was going to be. Just think about it. We're talking about a ninja riding a Rhino. It's crazy, but having seen this set, I gotta say, this thing is great. It feels like a hybrid between those rhinos from Black Panther and a little bit of something from Chima with some Ninjago in there too. It really has this kind of beefy armored look to it, which I think looks really nice, and there's these tiny little trans light blue pieces scattered throughout, which I think just complement everything well, and it's also got that nice little side build on the side, and a white version of the skull sword. I even like its little tiny hook tail thing, but what really put this set over the edge for me was the function. On the back of the box, you can see that there is indeed a button on the torso, and when you push it, the head moves up and down. That is the most perfect function ever for this set. You can maul over all your Chima scrubs in style, and there's nothing they can do about it. Also, 600 pieces for $50. I mean, come on, that's just great. The Destiny's Bounty is the most expensive set of this wave at $130, but I do think it is really good, and it is 100% an upgrade over the original version. They made the head brick built this time around, which I think came out really nice, and they did manage to retain both the lifting sails function and the rotating thrusters from the original without losing anything, and they even added an extra 2 small thrusters at the front to make it more accurate to what appeared in the show. It also does come with all of the Ninja, Sensei Wu, and it does have 2 new minifigures. Those minifigures being a very minor update to Samurai X. It just has slightly different printing on the front. It has the Samurai logo now instead of the Nia logo. And it also does come with a new version of young Lloyd, who, by the way, does have green eyes, so shout out to that guy in the comments who guessed that. I did not think it would, but it does. And also, for those of you wondering, yes, Garmadon was originally supposed to come in this set with the Mega Weapon, but it got removed at the last minute. But there is an image floating around of what that Mega Weapon would have looked like, and to be honest, it really wasn't that great, so if we just end up getting it later, but they make a whole new mold for it to make it more accurate, I think it'll be much better. Now, unfortunately though, there is some bad things about this set. There's really no interior space on this set whatsoever, aside from a admittedly pretty nice looking dojo that kind of flips out, and then there also is a small little console room, but I don't know, it's very kind of small. There isn't really a whole lot there, although that is kind of how the original set was like too, but overall I think it's a really nice set, and for $130 I do think it's definitely worth it. And once again, we get another great set from Legacy. The Kai Fighter is yet another set, which is a direct upgrade from the original, and this thing just looks really great. The build itself, I don't really have any complaints about it aside from some minor nitpick stuff, which really isn't a big deal. The figures I think are good, although I do agree that getting Lloyd for a 3rd time is really repetitive when they could have just made like a new version of Zane or Samurai X or a Evil Wu or even a Cyrus Borg. But the figure itself I don't think it's bad, although, you know, obviously there could have been some better inclusions. Also, the Ninjroid, I think this is supposed to be Cryptor. On the box it does not say Cryptor, it says Ninjroid Warrior, but he does have that armor, so take that as you will. Also, the one thing that I don't like here is the function. Well, okay, not so much the function itself, but the way it operates. See, in the original set, there was a button on the back which you would just push in and then the wings would kind of fold back. In this set, you move the entire cockpit section downward to move the wings forward. I don't know, I just feel like that's going to look really awkward having the whole front section just kind of moving downward while everything else remains the same. I think it's gonna look weird, but I mean, overall I think it's a good function. Also, $40, that puts this right in the middle in terms of price, and it's always nice to get great sets towards the cheaper end of the spectrum. And at number 1 we have the Skull Sorcerer's Dragon. Now when I first saw these small images of this set, I was somewhat disappointed, but now having these new pictures and, you know, seeing it in actual high-res images and seeing all these different angles, I gotta say I'm very impressed. The minifigure selection, while it is a little bit small for a $80 set, is very strong on the villain side, including the Skull Sorcerer and 2 Awakened Warriors. The actual dragon itself looks great. The pictures I don't think do a good job showcasing just how big this set is going to be, but looking at those swole legs, you can tell this thing is going to be massive. The dragon itself does not have the traditional wing flapping function, but it does have the common tail swinging function. It also has shootable tiles along with a function to split open the ribcage and drop a ball filled with spiders, which has not been seen in 12 years since the Fantoka villains from Bionicle. The dragon itself also does have multiple points of articulation in the head, legs, and wings, however it does look like the front legs might be a little bit limited with no side-to-side movement. Also, as far as the side builds go, it does have 2 kind of small side builds that go along with the board game, and it does come with another blue crystal. But overall, this is a really good set, and it is definitely my favorite of the wave. But that is it for this ranking video. Thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed. Till next time, I'll see you guys later.